for you, straight from the Bible, and it's the story of the Apostle Paul. All right, so we're continuing our topic this month, and we're talking about faith. And faith is trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. All right, so the Apostle Paul was going around and talking so boldly about Jesus. All right, so we're going to do our story today kind of like it's a movie. We have our very own voiceovers. Go ahead with the voiceover number 1.
In a world full of angry people, one courageous man was willing to tell others about Jesus, even if he got beat up, made fun of, and tossed into jail. The legend, the man of faith, Paul.
All right, sounds just like a movie trailer, right? Well, in many ways, Paul's life was kind of like a movie. He was beaten up, thrown in jail, and even chased out of a bunch of towns just for telling others the good news about Jesus. Finally, in Jerusalem, Paul was arrested by Roman soldiers after an angry mob tried to kill him. The soldiers were actually afraid that the crowd would kill Paul, so they put him in jail just to keep him safe. I can't even imagine how scary that must have been for Paul, but Jesus himself appeared to Paul in prison, and he told Paul to be brave. He knew that Paul had boldly told people about him, and he still had more plans for Paul to keep going. He knew that in order for Paul to do that, Paul would need great courage. All right, I need somebody to play the part of Paul. Who could that be?
I'll do it. I'm brave.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Doug. Woo! Thank you, Mr. Doug. You're awesome. All right, so since people were plotting to kill Paul in Jerusalem, Paul was taken to the governor in Caesarea. Okay, you're taken to the governor in Caesarea. All right, when Paul was with the governor, he requested to travel to Rome to stand trial before Caesar. The governor granted Paul's request. A Roman commander named Julius was going to take Paul on the sea journey. All right, so go ahead and pull out the boat over there, Mr. Paul. Yep, that's the boat right there. All right, so check out that boat. Pretty awesome, huh, guys? All right, so on the way, Julius let Paul visit some friends in Sidon. Wave to your friends over there in Sidon. From there, they sailed around Cyprus and transferred to a ship from Egypt, which was carrying grain to Italy. All right, Italy's way over there. So why don't you guys set sail for Italy over there? The ship fought against wind and rain, wind and waves for many days. Oh my goodness, it's so windy and wavy. Wow. If that were me, my tummy would start to get upset about now. Eventually, they arrived in a town on the island of Crete called Fair Havens. Paul could see that the longer they sailed on the ocean, the more dangerous it became. He warned everyone of what was coming. This is from Acts 27:10. Men, I can see that our trip is going to be dangerous. The ship and everything in it will be lost. Our own lives will be in danger also. The captain and the ship's owner wanted to reach a better harbor to keep the ship safe for the winter. They wanted to reach Phoenix. A gentle wind started to blow, and the ship's crew thought it was a good time to set sail. They didn't listen to Paul's warning. Soon that gentle wind grew until it had the
In a world where a ship is in great danger, God sends an angel to one man to encourage him. The angel explains that God will save the lives of everyone on board.
The next morning, Paul encouraged the crew and passengers, all 276 people on board, by telling them what the angel had said. He told them to be brave because they needed to crash the ship onto the beach of an island in order to survive. As you might imagine, the other people on board didn't love this idea. On the 14th night of the storm, they discovered that they were close to land. The crew members were afraid of crashing, so they lowered the lifeboat. They planned to escape and leave Paul and the other passengers behind. But Paul told Julius and the soldiers that the crew had to stay with the ship.
The crew has to stay with the ship.
It was the only way that they could be saved. The soldiers decided to trust Paul, so they cut the ropes to the lifeboat and let it drift away. Just before dawn, Paul took some bread and thanked God, and they ate it. The crew listened to Paul and ran the ship onto the beach. And here's Movie Trailer Man to tell us what happened next.
In a world where it seems like you should do whatever you can to save the ship, one man leads the crew and his fellow passengers to run their ship onto a beach. The ship may break apart into pieces, but this man of God trusts God's promise that everyone will survive.
After they crashed on the beach, the soldiers planned to kill Paul and the other prisoners from keeping them from swimming away to freedom. But Julius stopped them. He wanted to save Paul's life. Sure enough, everyone reached land safely, just as Paul said they would. I bet you are so relieved, Paul.
That was a ride.
Oh. They landed on an island called Malta. The people there built a fire to welcome the visitors. All right, so Paul actually went to grab some sticks to help him build a fire. And you know what happened? A snake bit his arm. Yikes! Paul was bitten by a venomous snake, but he just shook the snake off in the fire. When the people saw that Paul hadn't been hurt by the snake, they figured he must be a god. Publius, their chief official, welcomed Paul and the others into his home. All right, so Publius's father was sick, so Paul prayed to God and asked God to heal him. And God did. I bet they jumped for joy at that time. In fact, all of the sick people on the island ran to see Paul, and they were healed too. All right. The people of Malta were so happy that they gave Paul supplies for his journey. Eventually, he made the journey to Rome, where the believers came out to meet him. Phew! What a story. Paul finally made it to Rome.
In a world where one man has endured storms, death, threats, snakes, and angry mobs, the same man has made it to Rome. Now later, under guard in a home, he will boldly share the good news of Jesus with everyone who visits him.
All right, thanks for your help, Mr. Doug. You did a great job playing the part of Paul.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time, Mr. Doug. All right, so Paul was still under guard, but he was in a house, not a jail. He spent 2 years telling the people the good news of Jesus. There were so many times along the way when Paul could have given up. He faced storms, angry mobs, and people trying to kill him, being arrested and even bitten by a snake. But through all the problems, Paul never gave up. He knew this, and this is our bottom line for today. Knowing Jesus changes the way you see your problems. Paul didn't see his problems as something that would stop him. He knew that Jesus was always with him through the good and the bad times along the way. That's something that we can remember too. Whenever we have problems that seem overwhelming, we know that Jesus can help us to change the way we see our problems. And we know that Jesus is always there for us. All right, so guys, we are ending our summer vacation. I mean, we still have a couple weeks to go, but some of you might be nervous about going back to school. Some of you maybe don't even know the plan yet for going back to school. But we know that Jesus is always with us, and he will help us get through those times. So when you're feeling anxious about something, or maybe you're scared, you know that you can pray and ask Jesus to be there with you. He'll help you get through your problems, and he'll help you see them in a different way. All right, you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time.